Hey everyone, Chaps here, and does Gears Reloaded get your blood boiling like it does mine? Well, let's face it, I suck at the game right now. I wasn't planning on doing too many Reloaded videos, but hey, if I'm gonna struggle through this, I'll take you along for the ride. In this video, I want to discuss a bit about the game's mechanics, but really, the overarching focus here is just on how the game feels. In the last video, I broke down many of the issues surrounding the launch. This one is more about the subjective feelings that I have around the game. Let's start on a positive note. Hey, the game looked great, and it's playable on PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox, so that's good. And as you have that thought, it hits you. Wait, yeah, it looks good, but oh my god, this feels dated. And yeah, we all knew that, or we should have known that, coming in. This is a remake of a remaster of a 20-year-old game. It's gonna feel dated. Now, I've seen many comments around, it would have been fantastic if only they fill in the blank. And yeah, for the most part, that's true. Probably. But it also misses the point of what the game is. This is a quick hit game by a subset of the Coalition to get PlayStation players on board. And no, I didn't say a lazy cash grab. I honestly don't feel that way. They were very clear about this was, and most of us hardcore fans just aren't the target audience, and I can accept that. I made a video back in June discussing if Reloaded was really the right move. I'll link that down below. And my views stand firm to what I said in there. No, not really. This game is not what we needed. No, I don't think a Gears 2 or 3 remastered were the right move, as fun as that would be, and I think this could have been a cheap Ultimate Edition port for campaign only onto PS5. But nope, that's not what we got. We got Reloaded. So the game's launched, how are we feeling now? Simply put, terrible. I'll admit a large part of that feeling terrible is, well, I suck right now, but as we've all said many times recently, this game needs to give a strong first impression for PlayStation players. You know how you do that? You don't release a game with 20-year-old mechanics and a crazy skill curve. You don't release a game missing basic quality of life elements. And basically don't release a quick-hitting game by a subset of the Coalition to get PlayStation players on board. I get it, they didn't want to spend a ton of money and resources on this, but there's a few things that I feel would have been worth the effort. So let's list a few of these things. What are these, if only fill-in-the-blank items that I mentioned earlier? How about mixing up teams in social rather than keeping the same teams for each game? Improved button remapping ability. PC players have been going on and on about ultra-wide support. Oh, and they're also talking about modding tools a lot, which, while nice and I would have loved to see, I feel is way beyond the scope of what would have been reasonable here for this quick-hit game. But on that note, what about a server browser to find matches? Or even matchmaking for a campaign. There's a ton of PlayStation players asking why no one is joining them when they host a campaign. Because they kind of expect that if they can host, that means someone can search and join in progress. And another one that's maybe a larger scope item, but what about bot backfill? Except for TDM, obviously. And along with that, maybe a versus playlist for new players, like rank 10 and lower, to get them used to the game. Or if they did add bots, a co-op versus AI mode. These are all aspects that would drastically improve the quality of life in this game, and likely help retain more PlayStation players and other new players. But hey, what's done is done. Those are all features that the Coalition did not add to the game, and I doubt we're going to see in post-launch support. But is there anything they can do now post-launch with minimal support? Well, I think there is. First off are some of the things that I'd honestly just consider UI bugs. How about the weapons highlighted on the map when you use Tac-Com? That's a nice feature. Well, I guess it would be if it worked. Like, it seems like the game just rolls the dice to see if it should be lit up or not. Is that a bug? Does it not work the way I think it should? Aren't they supposed to be white when they're available and gray when they're taken? Am I just missing something here? Unlike the other items I mentioned, this kind of seems like it's a bug. It's not just a quality of life thing. And a big quality of life one, what about the way you chat in this game if you're on console? I have a keyboard plugged in case I want to chat in Gears 5. I just press tab, or U, or whatever the key was, and I start typing. Nope, not in this game. You press start. Then you press select, or back, or whatever you want to call it, and here's the chat screen. But guess what? You still can't type. Then you press that button again to bring up the virtual keyboard, and now you can type. Even on the physical keyboard, you have to bring up that screen. And then you can hit send. Like, what? Who wants to deal with that? And as annoying as all of those things are, and believe me, it is annoying, I think the main thing I'd like to see in terms of post-launch support is adjusting the playlist layout. Competitive should just have execution and 2v2 Gnashers, just as it does right now. Good call, Coalition. In social, I think it needs to be reduced. TDM, which, while I hate in Gears, I understand they need to have it, so have a TDM playlist. a King of the Hill playlist, which maybe could rotate between Annex, Blitz, and King of the Hill, and then a Raven Down playlist. That's it, just those 3. Warzone isn't needed in social, OSOC isn't really working out in this game, and nobody ever plays Assassination. I mean, it's kind of a cool game, but nobody plays it. 2v2 is already in ranked, and it's pointless to play without a full lobby. No one wants to play 2v1, so there's no point in having it in social. Ring modes can be down selected just to 1, or they can combine it into a single mode. There's no need to split the players between, right now I think they have Blitz and King of the Hill in the game. Oh, and also in King of the Hill, and I don't know about Blitz, but at least in King of the Hill, reduce the score or the rounds to win to make it a more reasonable length. Those games go on forever. But the last one I mentioned is Raven Down. This is a remaster of Gears 1, and anyone who's played Gears 1 knows that Raven Down matches were by far the most popular ones online. Just make a playlist that's only Raven Down. It's either Execution with a 5-second bleed out, or Warzone with a 15-second bleed out. Make it a 2-minute round duration, and 10 rounds to win. So what does this do? Well, besides the obvious of giving people the nostalgia kick that we all desperately need, what it does is make a single life mode that comes closer to retaining the pace of respawn modes. Respawn modes don't work well in Gears 1 due to balance and team size. You're often just going to have one team dominating the match. Yeah, it's going to be really fun for the team that's dominating, but the other team is just going to have a terrible time. This Raven Down playlist gives people the opportunity to have more neutral battles, rather than attacking and defending like you are in King of the Hill. And if they die, the weight is quite small relative to traditional Execution or Warzone. There's so many things I would have loved to see the Coalition change, but in terms of post-launch support, I think this playlist change is right near the top, and I think it's doable. Now I say it's near the top because I'm not sure. This next one may just take the cake. Gnasher Tuning, or weapon tuning in general. I mean, good lord, this Gnasher is crazy. And they really thought it was a good idea to tighten up the spread of the pop shot in a day 1 patch? Really? I mean, I don't know what they really need to do for tuning, and the weapons for the most part are fine, but something's gotta change on the Gnasher. Maybe just take it back to the way it was before the day 1 patch. I'll still say the center screen aiming is probably the dumbest thing in Gears, and if the Coalition did nothing else between Gears 1 Ultimate Edition and Reloaded but changed to barrel shot, that alone would have been worth it. Like, I'd be fine with the original Gears 1 graphics and barrel shot on the Gnasher. I know center screen is supposed to be really consistent, but it just feels insanely inconsistent. Speaking of which, I mentioned take you on my journey to get good. Well, tonight, as of recording this at least, I'm trying the tape trick. I know, I'm gonna be one of those guys, but I'm putting tape on my screen, at least for a few games. I gotta try it out. I'm also recording, which is how you're seeing this footage, and this is gonna let me go back and rewatch and see what I'm doing wrong. There's times that the gun feels like it downs people from a mile away, both me getting down from a mile away or me downing someone else from a mile away. And other times it just shoots marshmallows. I'm right next to someone, I feel like center screen is dead on them, and it doesn't do anything. I mean, I gotta figure this out. But that's what gets my blood boiling. That's what this video is all about. What feels good. Or in Reloaded's case, what doesn't feel good. And the Gnasher, well, the Gnasher's right at the top of that list for me. Now please let me know, as I'm genuinely curious here. If you're watching this video and Reloaded is your first Gears game, what are your thoughts? Like, I feel like I'm biased because I'm coming from a more modern Gears game. But for anyone who hasn't been playing the modern versions, does this game feel super dated and lacking to you? Or does it just feel like a fresh, new experience? That's all I really have for now. We'll see how things go. I'm going to try that tape trick, and we'll see if the Coalition does anything about this crazy pop shot range thing on the Gnasher. So yeah, those are my main things on my list. Try tape, and give the pop shot a go. I'm sure there's going to be something else worthy of discussion in the near future. So if you want to catch that discussion, and if you want to see if my skills have evolved, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you online.